You are officially tuned in to Living in the Moment with Lyrikas Legacy magazine. I'm your host, Oroscia L, and today we have the pleasure of sitting with a very special guest, Lyrika Holmes. She's a Grammy Nominated Actress, singer, and composer. Let's see what she's been up to. Follow me.
Riding around like a subway surfer. Gang with me and we surfing. Ducking ops like we surfing. Represent like we surfing. Riding around like a subway surfer. Gang with me and we surfing. Ducking ops like we surfing. Represent like we surfing. Who was you? Coming at me like you know me, fool. I ain't messed with the grip the tool. Bet I got some ignorance too. Don't you come at me aggressive. I got some weapons to settle it. I got some homies that's meddlesome. They'll come up at you, boy, don't you play.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Living in the Moment with Lyrikas Legacy magazine. I'm your host, Oroscia L, and today we have a very special guest. She's a Grammy-nominated actress, singer, and composer, Miss Lyrika Holmes, everyone.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. So happy to have you here.
Happy to be here.
Yes. So we'll get right into it.
Okay.
You have the same birthday as Beethoven?
Yes, I do. Beethoven is my homeboy.
Yeah. I love it. So we'll get right into it. For your fans, right? So I know that you have 29,000 and growing Instagram followers.
Always growing.
Again, a Grammy nominated. You have to say that multiple times because that's a big deal. But even beyond those things, who is Lyrika Holmes?
I would say Lyrika Holmes is probably a chill, let me say that, laid back person who just loves music, loves all genres, and loves being able to put that out into the world.
Absolutely.
As well as sharing it with the little people.
Absolutely, all the little people.
Yes.
Got to look out for the little people. So I know that you are originally from St. Louis, Missouri.
Yes, that's right. That's my hometown.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah. I grew up there, and my parents are the ones who got me into music. Everybody in my family played an instrument or they sang. So they were like, oh, you're going to play an instrument too.
Yes.
So
how did you choose the harp?
My parents chose it for me.
Okay. Well, thank you, parents. Yes.
Yeah, I was playing. So I grew up, I learned piano when I was 3. I started on piano because my uncle was a music teacher in the public school system in St. Louis. And so I learned piano and, of course, flutophone. And then my father played sax, so then I had to learn sax. And then I did double bass. And they were like, okay, it's time for you to do something else. We signed you up for harp.
Very nice. So I understand, certainly, your parents kind of choosing music for you. But tell me about the time that you knew, hey, they might be onto something. Music really is for me. What was that moment like?
I think that moment really came about when I was in high school.
Okay.
I took music for all the way growing up, and I started in Harvard Middle School. Okay. And I wanted to get out of harp in high school when I got to be a sophomore in high school because of the teacher that I had.
Okay.
Because I always sang, but I would have to accompany myself on the piano. And, back then it was taboo for the harpist to be able to play, hip hop or anything different. So they're like, you play it on the piano, you don't play it on the harp. But then I met a teacher my junior year, and she was like, when I met her, she played beat on the harp. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she showed me how to play Ribbon in the Sky on the harp. And from there, I was like, I found my passion.
Absolutely. So what did that kind of feel like, right? Being able to take a multitude of genres and be able to play them on a harp, right? Because normally it'd be classical music.
That's right. Yeah, it felt amazing. I know in the beginning, it didn't seem like it wasn't that accepted because of the community, the community of harpists. They weren't used to that.
I'm sure.
But yeah, I know.
So I'm sure.
Yeah, so it took a moment, but with my teacher and her connection of people that kind of surrounded me, and and that's it.
Yes, literally, that's
it. That's it.
Very nice. Well, again, we've mentioned kind of Grammy nominated, but also through some research, I know that you've had a chance to open up for Keri Hilson. but also play alongside the Queen of Soul, Aretha
Yes.
Franklin. Can we talk about that? Because that's a major deal.
I know. Well, and that was something else. Also, my teacher, she was heavily connected as well, and I was able to get the opportunity through her. And
Wow.
yeah, when she came to St. Louis and she was performing, and she needed harpist.
Wow.
So I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Super honored.
Yeah.
What was that like, though? That experience, how did you feel?
Scared, a little scared,
Okay.
but I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stay in the pocket.
Right.
I'm not gonna
Right.
go out and do nothing else. But yeah, it was amazing, but scary at the same time because it was the biggest thing I had done at that moment.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. So switching gears a little bit, I know that you are co-founder of the nonprofit art school, Arts for the Heart.
That's right.
Can we talk about that? I want to know how it started. I want to know, what that does for you.
Okay. Well, I'll go back. When I was after I graduated from high school,
Yes.
I went on to college at University of Missouri St. Louis. The teacher that I had in high school, they hired her to teach me at the collegiate level. When she switched over to teaching me there, I took her position teaching harp in St. Louis,
Very nice.
Missouri, and so that was my first dive into actually teaching the instrument, and I loved it. And so by the time when I left there, we went to Memphis, and I taught there was a music teacher as well.
Yes.
And I said, well, I want to be able to do the same thing, or be able to give the same thing that was given to me, because the harp is something that a lot of students are not exposed to because of the price of the instrument, and then also you got to pay for lessons, and it's just a lot. So we started Arts for the Heart as a way to provide the instrument as well as the lessons to students with subsidized as well as free programming to students in the public school systems.
That's a big deal, right? Because in all honesty, you are right. A lot of kids, this is my first time in complete honesty being this close to an actual harp that's just right here behind you. So even I feel honored, right? So I can only imagine if we're talking about kind of even more so underprivileged or, just kids in maybe urban communities, we don't get those opportunities.
That's true.
So for you to be able to bring that experience and that exposure is a very good thing.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me happy because it's something that has helped me be the person who I am. Yes. And so to be able to give that back, and I know a lot of, being in music and especially at the elementary level, the students, they're only equipped to play the recorder.
Yes.
Or the recorder, or chorus, or sometimes piano. But it's, there's very few students who have the opportunity to actually play an instrument because the schools don't have the funding for it.
Absolutely.
And so that's the reason why we started the program.
Yes.
We started it. We purchased the first set of harps, and we were able to bring them into the school and let the students participate. Some for free, some for a small amount, and they loved it.
Yes.
And from there we moved from Memphis, and then we did it in Georgia. We started in Rockdale County and did it there, and then of course in Folsom County, and now we're kind of all over. So we're excited about where it's going.
Absolutely.
And also the doors it's opening for our students.
And they'll continue to. Absolutely. What are the reviews that you're getting from parents?
My parents, they really love it. The ones that we initially started with, the first 10 that I had, 7 of them went on to college to study in music.
Yes.
So that type of thing, that makes me happy because I know that I kept them out the streets and doing some things they shouldn't have been doing.
Absolutely.
And my parents, I think my parents, they're super supportive. They're coming to the recitals, they're making sure the kids are practicing, and so that's one of the things that makes us happy.
Awesome. So through Arts for the Harp, you also do, I believe, music therapy?
Yes, we do youth programming, and we do program for senior citizens. And our music therapy programming is for students who have a variety of disabilities, and it helps them musically, different ways. As far as our seniors, we deal with seniors that have Alzheimer's and dementia care, or just seniors in general who may have different arthritis or other things that they may be impaired with, and the music helps their fine motor skills as far as for the seniors, and also helps with our dementia care patients because of course music is the one thing that connects the right and the left hemisphere of the brain.
Yes.
And
look at you go.
Yes. So we're excited about the progress because, for example, we used to do something at Sandy Springs, one of the senior care facilities up there, and we had one of our seniors who we brought in the harp, so he was like, "Okay, you're gonna learn how to play this instrument." This guy, he was like, "I don't know how to play music. I don't know how to play this." We was like, "Well, you know, we're going to let you try. So we gave him harp, we gave him the music, we kind of showed him what to do, and we left. And by the time I went around the circle, about 10 minutes later, he played the whole song through.
Wow.
He was like, oh, yeah, you know, I used to play music. You know, I sung in the choir, and, you know, I played the piano. And the staff, they were like, well, we never knew he could do this and do that. I said, yeah, well, music can bring back those long-term memories. It's the short-term ones that's affected with them.
Nice.
You know.
And that's also good for families, right?
Yes,
Because anytime that you have a member of your family that is going through anything, right, but especially dementia or Alzheimer's, that affects a lot of people, not just that actual individual.
That's right.
So I can only imagine how they felt being able to, you know,
find a way to reach them.
Yes, that's awesome. Well, switching gears just a tad, tell me about the biggest moment in your life that helped you become who you are today.
Well, let's see, the biggest moment. I don't know what the biggest moment is. I would say the most exciting moment. Okay. Okay, so I've already talked about how, you know, the first song that I learned how to play on the harp was Ribbon in the Sky.
Yes.
Right? And so a couple years ago, I was honored to get to play for Stevie Wonder. He was at the NAMM. Yeah, he was at the NAMM convention, you know, where all the musicians all get together, and the musicians and the variety of music stores and everybody come together once a year, and it happens in California.
Yes.
And I was just playing away, and then here he, you know, he shows up at the booth.
Stevie Wonder,
yeah. And so I'm very excited about it because we have a connection.
Wow.
And, you know, we're looking forward to doing some things together. So it's, you know, that I would say, you know, out of everything, that's the biggest, because
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's one of my idols. So
he's awesome.
Yes, he is amazing.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sure. No words for that. I'm sure. Well, what obstacles have you faced in your career thus far?
I would say obstacle as far as on the education side or on the performance side, which one? Because we got to both.
Actually, give us both.
As far as on the education side, I would say the obstacles would be funding.
Okay.
For schools, you know, we work to make sure we have enough harps to come in, but then some of the schools they want like all their students to do it, so we want to make sure that we also have enough instructors that's also there to help them, and that takes you, like I said, funding. And so one of our obstacles would be funding and be, you know, proving that the students will benefit from this. Because a lot of parents will think that it takes them a minute to grasp that the harp is something their student want to learn. And so once they learn it, then everybody wants to do it. But in the beginning, it's the funding and trying to make sure that we have enough funds to be able to reach everybody once they decide it's something they want to do.
Absolutely. You've talked about, when it comes to seniors, it helping with the brain, kind of the motor cortex. How does that help with just children alone in terms of helping them to learn better? You just mentioned that. How does that do that?
Well, with the music, it helps with the cognitive skills.
Yes.
It helps to develop that. It helps with discipline. It helps to build their self-confidence or self-esteem. It helps with team building.
Yes.
You know, with other students, they're learning how to perform by themselves, you know, solo as well as learning how to work in a team or with a group or with an ensemble. They're learning how to create and compose. So all these different things that they do across the curriculum. So like math, science, and, you know, whatever, we're integrating the arts into it. So it's something that will help to build them academically as well as helping them to still strive, you know, on the art side.
Yes. So what obstacles have you faced? You've mentioned education in your actual career as well, the other half of that.
In my career, it would be more sometimes running into producers who want me to stay in one genre. Or they'll say, okay, we want you to choose, are you going to sing or are you going to be a harpist?
Okay.
You know, and I was like, well, Alicia Keys didn't choose, so.
Well, that's the truth. That's the truth. And it worked out for her pretty well.
Very well for her, yeah.
Yes.
You know, so it's something that I enjoy doing, and like I said, it's definitely taken a lot longer because I didn't go the traditional route. I didn't decide, okay, well, you said do this, so maybe I should just do this instead. But, you know, I kind of hop around with my genres and try and blend them together versus just sticking to one thing, or what the harp is mainly known for is classical.
Absolutely. What advice do you have for those in the industry that are even right now trying to overcome obstacles that may still be different than yours, but still just advice for overcoming those obstacles?
I guess my advice would be definitely to do music for you, and then the followers will come. You know, I think if you try and create something based on what somebody else is gonna like, you're not gonna not liking it. You know, like you have a lot of artists who were with labels and who were doing amazing things, but they weren't happy, and then they decided to become independent. You know, so if you're already independent and you're able to do what you want to do, I would say stay in that lane, and you know, it's going to be a lot more opportunities that open up.
The independent route.
Definitely.
Probably a little bit.
And you get to
more.
keep all your money. So.
I was going to say that, a little bit more lucrative as well on the back end. Yeah.
That's right.
Good for you. So what advice as well do you have just for fans, people that aren't necessarily interested in the music industry, but just trying to follow their dreams?
I would still say definitely follow your dreams because, you know, I think I would be very unhappy if I decided to just be, I don't know, something that didn't speak to my heart, something that didn't make me happy. So I'm a very cheerful person, and I like to find things that also keep me in the same manner. You know, if something is making me unhappy, then it's going to reflect in how I perform, or it's going to affect in just my day-to-day interactions with other people. So I would say do something you love. Life is short, and enjoy it. And keep at it, even if you don't make any money at it. If you, and then I also say for those people who want to do something else that's for their dreams, keep your job, work on that side hustle or whatever your main thing is, and once you get that big enough, then you switch. I'm not saying quit and then just jump into it. You have to have a plan, so make sure you have a plan and that's in place before you decide to do it. But work on it. But work on it harder than you work on your job.
Absolutely. Work on it and never stop.
That's right. Never
Absolutely.
Stop. Don't stop.
So I'll read a quote, and I would like for you to tell me what this means to you.
Oh, okay.
Music is the universal language.
Yes.
We just have to find which one speaks to you, and in the end, I hope I will inspire others to step outside the box and try something new. Would you say that that's your legacy?
Definitely. I'm always saying try something new. Whether anybody, whether you like jazz or blues or rock, you find the genre that really speaks to you and who you are, and go from there. Even people who aren't musicians, they're listening to the music that they love, and it's having an impact on their life.
Absolutely. Well, I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't ask you to play this lovely harp that is behind you.
Of course.
So I'm actually going to step out of the way a little bit, and would you play something for us?
Of course.
All right, everyone, this will be a very, very, very special treat. Miss Lyrika Holmes is going to play her very own customized harp just for Let Us Live magazine. All right. The floor is all yours, ma'am. Yes.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life, and I'm feeling fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, and a new life.
Amazing. Amazing.
Thank you. And my custom artwork was done by Roberto Hernandez. Roberto's artwork. He's a famous artist that's here in Georgia.
Okay.
Here in Atlanta. He does a lot of murals, and he also is a body painting artist.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about this description of what he actually put on your art, his artwork.
Oh yeah. And so I'm a Sagittarius.
Yes.
For one, yes. And so I found a picture of something that I wanted, and I told him, I said, well, I want this, but I want my face, and I want it to, reflect who I am. And so he was like, okay, and he did it in like a day.
Wow.
I dropped my harp off. He was like, okay, I'm gonna do it.
He did this in one day.
One day.
Oh, that's talented.
Yes.
That's talented.
Yeah. So I was honored that he was able to do it and to be able to capture exactly what I wanted.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people just say, "Oh, it's the Black Wonder Woman." I'm like, sure, I'll take that too.
Yeah. Absolutely. Nothing else needs to be said. You just left it all here, and I thank you for it.
Thank you.
Seriously, beautiful voice.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
And to honor Ms. Nina Simone for Women's Day.
Yes.
Women's Month.
It is Women's Month, and you are actually my very first female that I've actually had on the show. So listen, I think we did this thing today.
Yes.
Absolutely. Everyone, Grammy nominated singer, actress, and composer, Miss Lyrika Holmes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It was our honor. Until next time, thank you for tuning in to Living in the Moment with Let Us Live magazine.